This is the Louie Tee Network.
Then it gets even better when your team makes the playoffs.
In the lab.
Who's good, babe? With me, Dormant. Louie Tee, welcome. You are in the lab room, of course. I'm your host, Luke. Thank you for joining me. Playoff time, and it got off to a rousing start with a bang. No, not the 106-yard kickoff return on the opening kickoff of the game by L.A.B, but bang! The Houston Texans are dead. 2 shots to the head, bye-bye. Now, you know they dead. And that's what happens when you bring garbage into the postseason. That's why I love the postseason. Because if you don't belong, you get dealt with quickly. And if this was the NBA or MLB playoffs, guess what? We would have had to watch that nonsense for 3 more games of a sweep. Instead, the NFL says, hey, we're going to take these boys out back, pop 2 in their skull, get them out of here. And that's what the Chiefs did to the Texans in this ball game. Look, the Texans never belonged in the postseason. That was a bad division they came out of. And look, I respect the Texans for going 9-7, winning some ball games, playing with some confidence down the stretch. But you can't have 4 different quarterbacks show up to the party with Billy Ho at quarterback and think you're gonna do something, man. That's not how it works around here. And I'm glad the Chiefs blanked those. Don't let them score nothing. Let's break this game down quickly so we can get out of here. 106-yard kickoff return to the crib for L.A.B to start this game off, like I said, with a bang. I mean, literally, opening kickoff. He almost stumbles, keeps his feet. The Red Sea parts, and that man is off to the races. Not a single finger was laid on L.A.B as he cruises to the end zone. 7-0 lead. That was the worst possible start for the Texans because, again, the Texans don't score a bunch of points, and this Chiefs defense isn't giving up a bunch of points, so you couldn't afford to give up anything on special teams. Well, you just did. Alex Smith misses Albert Wilson on the first possession of the game for the Chiefs. That could have been the end of the game right there. If he hits him, and Albert Wilson had at least 2 steps on Kevin Johnson, the rookie corner for the Texans, he was going to catch that one and walk in the end zone, and that would have been about a 60-yard touchdown pass, and that would have been all she wrote. That would have been good night for the Texans in the first quarter after the first 5 minutes of the game. Instead, Alex Smith just missed him, and we talk about football being a game of inches. Literally, that pass was 6 inches away from being hauled in and it being 14-0 to start this football game off. Billy Ho, look, I told you can't show up to the party with a quarterback like that. Arguably, the Texans, no, there's no argument here. The Texans had the worst quarterback situation coming in to the playoffs, and they had to get dealt with. And so I've talked about the issues with the Texans and them needing to address the quarterback situation. I'm not going to do that here. Look, at the end of the day, you knew what you had at quarterback. You knew that this was a distinct possibility of happening. In the breakdown of this game, in the preview, I said, look, if the Chiefs put pressure on Billy Ho, he can and will turn it over. Well, he can and did turn it over in this football game. He missed on the first 3rd down of the game, wide open tight end. Got to hit him, got to extend the possession and give yourself a chance to score points. Well, he didn't. He missed. The next possession, he throws an interception to Eric Berry. He was picked off. Luckily enough for him, the defense comes out and gets a turnover right back from Alex Smith as he turns it over. Bad throw behind the tight end. The intended receiver gives Kareem Jackson a chance to make a break on the ball, deflected in the air, picked off by Brian Cushing. So you avoided disaster there by not giving up points because you should have given up points there. But then you take the team on a drive. You look like you're going to get some points. You're already in field goal range. And your left tackle, who's in for Dwayne Brown, who I told you were going to need to help. Well, you didn't help Chris Clark on this particular play. He gets steamrolled. I mean, he got put up on skates and jacked up into the lap of Billy Ho, who had no idea that his left tackle was getting blown up and put on skates. And so, boom, ball comes out. It's recovered by the Chiefs. And give credit to Allen Bailey. He just out-muscled Chris Clark into Billy Ho to force that turnover. And so, just like that, you have a situation where you could have got some points, got back into this ball game. It was only 7-0. Instead, you give it right back to the Chiefs. And they end up getting a field goal off of that as we head to the second quarter, score being 7-0. They get a field goal off of that fumble. They get another field goal to make it 13-0. And so the Texans are still in this game, and they get exactly what they needed. A big run from Alfred Blue. And I didn't think he was going to have a big game, but I actually thought he was phenomenal in this game. 17 carries, 99 yards, including this 48-yard run to put them inside the Chiefs' 20-yard line. If he had some speed, he would have scored, but he's not an explosive back. So he got walked down by MP Double Deuce Marcus Peters. and that allowed them to get the stop of the game. And I thought this was the turning point of the game right here, because if you get something here, it's a different ball game. A touchdown, and we definitely have a ball game on our hands, folks. A field goal, at least you feel good. We're on the board, we can settle down. Chiefs weren't doing anything offensively, so you felt good about where you were if you were the Texans, if you got something on this possession. They get an 8-yard run from Grimes, and you feel good. Okay, now we're inside the 5-yard line, and then the Texans get cute on you. They take J.J. Watt and put him in the Wildcat. They put Vince Wilfork in the game. What the hell are you doing? You got D-Hop! You got the most explosive receiver in the game, and you throwing J.J. Watt on the field in the goddamn Wildcat. You deserve what you got on this possession. Throw the goddamn, and I said before the game, 12 targets for D-Hop. I don't think he made it this far. I don't think he made it. And if you get in the red zone, I will fade it up to him 3 times in a row. Stop it. Stop it. You don't put J.J. Watt and Vince Wilfork. You got cute. You got cute and it got messy on you. That's what happened. Next play after that doesn't work. They come after Billy Ho. He gets a little pressure. He panics. And he forces the football over the middle to the running back out of the backfield. And Josh Marga, linebacker of the Chiefs, sitting there waiting on this. Like, I know he's not going to throw. I know he's not throwing this. Oh, he threw it. Thanks. Cookies. Appreciate it. Yum, yum, eat 'em up. Yum, yum, eat 'em up. Pick off. And that, to me, was when the game changed right there. And took the points off the scoreboard for the Texans. And they put the Chiefs in a position where they knew, okay, these guys don't have nothing for us today. They ain't got nothing for us. And so he airmails one right before the half to MP Double Deuce Marcus Peters for his 3rd interception and 4th turnover of the first half. They booed the damn Texans off into the locker room, and rightfully so. They were putrid and horrid in that first half, and much of the same in the second half. They come out, and J.J. Watt re-aggravates his groin injury that he was nursing all week long, and that's a rough and tough thing for the Texans to go through, because he was the only thing that they had to worry about defensively. And Whitley Merciless had 2 sacks. You could go ahead and credit both of those sacks to J.J. Watt. He got the initial pressure that forced Alex Smith to step up and allow him to get his sacks in this game. So the minute J.J. Watt got injured, they started getting more aggressive. On that same play that J.J. Watt is injured, so is Jeremy Maclin. And we know how big he is for this Chiefs offense, and it doesn't look good. Anytime a grown man that is a warrior on that football field starts crying, you know it's not good. And he sustained a knee injury, a significant one before, in his ACL, tearing it in Philadelphia. So he knows when something is really wrong. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I didn't sleep at a Holiday Inn last night. But something tells me the prognosis not going to be good when we find out the results from Jeremy Maclin's knee injury. And if he's out, you're done. Simple as that. You may be able to get past the Kansas City, or excuse me, the New England Patriots. Maybe you do advance. You're not getting to the Super Bowl without Jeremy Maclin. Simple as that. You don't have enough weapons offensively to scare teams. He was the one guy that could take a beat. He was the one guy you're worried about offensively at the receiver position. Of course, I talked about Travis Kelce, a.k.a. Baby Gronk, and what he brings to the table. And he was huge in this game, over 100 yards receiving with a couple of big catch and runs, including that 48-yarder that set up a touchdown to Chris Conley in the end zone to give the Chiefs a 20-0 lead in this game. I thought the Texans started to unravel after Watt left the game, and they have a couple of personal foul penalties. Brandon Dunn picks one up. Jared Crick picks up another one on the next possession. Both end up helping lead to Chiefs touchdowns. One to Chris Conley, as I mentioned before, and also another touchdown running to Spencer Ware from 5 yards out. The Chiefs go up 27-0 at that point, and Billy Ho wasn't done sharing as he threw another interception to make it a nice game with 4 picks, 5 total turnovers for Billy Ho, including a fumble. It was a disastrous playoff game for the Texans, and it just is further proof they need a quarterback. You cannot continue to ignore the elephant in the room. It's cute that you got a playoff berth. It's cute that you won the AFC South, but you cannot be a fraud in the playoffs. It's not allowed, and the Chiefs took these boys out back, popped 2 in their dome, and put them to sleep. 30-0 in this game. Big win for the Chiefs. They get that playoff monkey off their back. Hadn't won since 1994. Now that's done. Now they can concentrate on trying to see who they will have to play that game against the Steelers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, or excuse me, the Steelers and the Bengals will determine who the Chiefs will have to play in the divisional round of the postseason. For the Texans, it's an ugly, bitter defeat, but I think it is definitely one that was needed because they continued to ignore a problem in Houston, which is the quarterback position. You can no longer ignore that. They have to do something. They will do something this offseason. Whether it's trade for a quarterback or go in the draft and get a quarterback, they're going to do something. Trust me. And I don't know what they're going to do because you don't want to go in the draft and they're going to be in the 20s, probably the 20th pick overall, 21st, because they were in the playoffs. So you're not going to get the quarterback that you're probably looking for, but it doesn't matter. They're going to have to do something. I expect changes to come at that position as they're walloped 30-0. For the Chiefs, big win. I love the way that they came out defensively and got after Billy Ho and forced the turnovers and the issues, but look, they were supposed to win this game 50-0. They gave the Texans two. This game should not have been 13-0 at halftime. And I don't mean to rain on your parade because it was a big win. You win 30-0, you get the shutout. That's great. But you should have put this game away in the first half. Had this been against Denver, had this Denver team been in this game versus the Texans and forced those turnovers, had the Steelers been in this game and forced the turnovers, had this been anybody else in the AFC for that matter, outside of the Chiefs, this score might have been 27-0 at half. You were supposed to put you were supposed to really put it to this team and beat the brakes off of them in the first half, and you allowed it to be 13-0. Had Billy Ho came out and threw a bomb to D-Hop on the first possession, it would have been 13-7 in a different ballgame. But that didn't happen. Celebrate! You won 30-0. You're going on to the divisional round of the postseason, and you were the better team and you deserved it. Big win for the Chiefs. Let's see who they got to play in the divisional round of the postseason. It happens in the National Football League, whether big or small. We cover it all here in the lab. We'll come back and join me as I continue to break down. And now, the National Football League. Oh yeah, I went to DC and recorded another episode of the Playbook with 3 Gold. Check me out. I'll have it up on Facebook and I'll let you know when it is up. Enjoy the nightcap. Steelers, Bengals. Let's see who's moving on to the next round.
There's plenty more where that came from. While you're here, subscribe to the channel. If you want more Louie Tee, be sure to follow me on Twitter at @InTheLabRoom, or you can like the Facebook page at In the Lab Room. That's In the Lab Room on Facebook and at In the Lab Room on Twitter. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so.
Then it gets even better when your team makes the playoffs.